I just realized I was on mute that entire time, y'all. I'm embarrassed. Okay, let me go over that again. So I am, of course, BC, and this is BC Brown Books, where we like to get weird about words in the ways that only writers can. We write them, and we talk about writing them. And tonight, that's what we're going to work on. I am specifically working on Project Flambeau, which is a collaborative book project that I've been doing with fellow Authortuber and badass horror writer, might I add, Sako Tumi. She's also known as Cass Voit. Her information is down below. Hopefully, she'll pop in a bit later. Fridays aren't the best for her schedule. I picked just a random day to stream this week so that I could kind of get back into the groove of things. But basically, I got to get some work done on this book. Sako and I have about 3 months now, a little over 3 months to our projected release date. We are on draft 3. We have gone through our developmental edits at this point. We're kind of systematically doing copy editing and line editing as we go along, but we are still going to have to do copy editing at some point. With a professional other than ourselves. And yeah, we're kind of not near that. So we got to be working on that. That's what I'm working on tonight. If you want to find out more about me, all of my links are down below. Come find me on the socials. Come check out my Patreon or my merchandise store, whatever it is that you're into. We will be doing probably 20-minute sprints tonight. I am kind of a chatty bitch, so I'll be doing lots of chatting in between because it's like my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, let's say hi to a few folks that are here and caught my just really random, decided this morning pop-up. So Jasmine Anderson is here. Hey, Jasmine, good to see you. Thank you for letting me know that I was on mute because I didn't until I glanced at your comment. So thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Nicole. Good to see you. Welcome, weirdos, since you are new here. For those who are not new here, of course, welcome back, weirdos. I will call y'all weirdos till the end of time because all writers are weirdos. You'll probably see a whole bunch of crap going on in the background because I have the office door open. It's a bajillion degrees. And while the air conditioning is working, if I close my office door, it gets really hot in here. So you're going to see cats, you're going to see dogs, you're probably going to see my partner at some point, not realizing that I'm streaming and live on camera, which that should be fun. So Nicole is working on final proofread edits for newsletter magnets. And I love me a chatty bitch. Good, you're in the right place. Yeah, that's cool. I am terrible at newsletters. So you'd think somebody like myself who has a background in marketing. I have been doing professional marketing since like 2010. I've been doing my own personal professional, i.e. my books and things like that, since 2007. And then I've even done things like marketing for state agencies and things like that. But when it comes to newsletters, I drag my feet so badly on newsletters. Like, it's not even funny. I maybe send out 2 newsletters a year. It's usually like my annual update of, hey, what the hell has BC been doing this whole time? And then if I have a project that comes out, it's a, hey, look at my new shiny thing. If I don't have a project that comes out, it's, hey, I don't have a new shiny thing, but come look at all my old things that I've probably put on sale or something like that. That's usually about it. Like, so I can like chat with writers and chat with readers in person on here, like interact on social media back and forth like 1,000 times a day. But when it comes to like distilling down information for a newsletter, I just fucking hate it. It's just, ugh. So those that do newsletters and are diligent with them and have a good following with them, I commend you, because I can't do it. All right, we got a few more folks here. This is one of my favorite people in the world, C.A. Wilkie, who is an awesome writer. And let me look here. I'm going to turn my camera off because I'm not wearing pants, but I'm going to roll away from the camera and you might be able to see the fact I'm not wearing pants. Might as well be honest. Who wears pants when they're streaming? I don't know anybody that wears pants when they're streaming anymore. So hold on just a second. I'm going to show you CA's book. Okay, now that you guys did not get a shot of me in my underwear. So C.A. Wilkie is the author of 2 books, Scarlet Angel and Scarlet Raven. They are, I think, clearly in the same series. This is obviously an advanced reader copy, so covers might be slightly different, book shapes might be slightly different. I'm just lucky and know him, so I get free stuff. Or early stuff. Okay, let me see here. I need this sprint because I've been struggling with a chapter. Jasmine, I feel you. So we're in draft 3 of Project Flambeau, and this is after the developmental edits where the awesome Rose City editing, if you need a good editor, developmental or copy editing, they do both, I believe. We went through them specifically for developmental editing. So an awesome Rose City editing came through and was just like, it's a good, solid story. You're missing a few things here and there to like connect all the dots. Like just a couple of your dots are not connected. So that's where we're at right now. And I'm really struggling with this one particular section of the story. So if you've been following along with the streams, either on my channel or Sako's channel, which she streams on Monday nights, and most of the time I think works on Project Flambeau. I mean, I know occasionally we work on other things, but not very often. There is a group in our world called the Resistance, because I think every paranormal, urban fantasy, dystopia, sci-fi, Western fantasy, I think everything has like a resistance. So we introduce them, we name drop them, and they come up in one scene. Or yeah, we name drop them in a bunch of scenes. They come up in one scene, and then we were just like, we had no intro to them other than that. Like they were just bam, right there. So we're like, maybe we need to see why this character is associated with these people when they're not like the big power in the world, and they're not like how to get things done in the world kind of a thing. So yeah. Hi, Jenny. One of my favorite weirdos. Good to see you. Nicole just started the newsletter this week, up to 36. That's impressive. 36 subscribers in a single week is really good. Have a 4 email welcome, auto sequence, and then monthly unless I have more news. Nice. I don't think I could come up with that much content. my big thing is I, despite how it may seem, don't actually like to talk about like myself very much. I like to talk about my projects and what I'm doing with them and like show people stuff like that. I like to give advice. I like to do stuff like that. I like to tell people about like what's going on in my life, but like figuring out how to take my ADHD thoughts about what I want to share with people and distill them into a neat newsletter package. I don't know. I feel like my newsletter should really honestly just be like, look like serial killer cutout letters and have nothing that is neat, and it should be really rambly. I might actually, that might be a good idea for me. I might do that. I still doubt it'll be monthly because I'm lazy. You're welcome. Yeah, I do need to come over and see the new puppy. You'll have to come and meet my new kitties. We got Gozer. So C.A. Wilkie and his wife found our Gozer Voit kitty on the streets, and we adopted him. And we got him last year. We got him some a brother and sister duo, some siblings to play with, although he doesn't play with either one of them because he's kind of an asshole to them. But he still loves on me, so I don't care. They play with each other. It's fine. But yeah, I'll have to come over now that things are slowly returning to normal a little bit. Plus, you know, I went ahead and got vaxxed, and so did my partner and everything. All right. So yeah, like I mentioned, we're probably going to be doing 20-minute increments for the sprints. If you would like to do a different length of sprint, let me know at some point. I tend to stick with 20 minutes because they work really well for me, but some people, that's a little too much. I really don't do much longer than 20 minutes because I have ADHD, and it's hard for me to focus for longer than about 20 minutes at a time without like a 5-minute break, honestly. Nicole said, just picked a mini topic for each welcome email. First was the author that made me love paranormal romance. Nice. Second is favorite scene in the night. Okay. Third is all-time favorite PNR books. 3 of them. Okay. Paranormal romance books. That makes sense. I can do stuff like that. I don't think about stuff like that. Like, I don't think about the getting to know BC kind of a thing. I don't know. It's just me. Again, impressive though. And I might steal some ideas that you have. Good. I figured you guys would probably be like super, as soon as you could, you would go get it. I mean, one, I don't know if you're working in office or if you're working from home, but I'm pretty sure your wife is still working in office unless something changed that I don't know about. Okay. All right. So, yay. I like getting permission so I don't have to ask for forgiveness later, but I don't mind asking for forgiveness later. All right, so let's go ahead and do a sprint. You guys will see I will share my screen with you, which will include, maybe, there we go, which is going to include, I do everything in dark mode. Sorry, y'all. If you want to follow along closer or it's hard to read, I do apologize. But you will see all of your wonderful comments that are over here. You will see our wonderful timer, which will be up here. No, I will not have the sound on. So you will not hear the timer ding or make the little chimey sound that it makes at the end of it, just because I tend to not keep my sound on. But you will get me at the end acting like a timer, because that's what I always do. So you will know. And then, of course, if you're just wanting to follow along with how I'm writing on Project Flambeau, things like that, where I'm at and what I'm working on, then you'll be able to see it as I write. So you'll get to see me mistype a lot of things, and you'll get to see me retype a lot of things, and you'll get to see me twiddle my thumbs a lot and pluck words out of the ether, like pulling teeth out of my head. Something that's hard to do sometimes, especially when you've had as long as of a hiatus as I've had from routine writing recently. It's been a very long hiatus. Y'all haven't seen me on YouTube for a hot minute and a half because I've been bad. I hide that so it's not in the way. Hi Debbie, good to see you. Are you working more on the comic tonight? Really cool to know. I'm working on Project Flambeau, of course. That's what I'm here for. Or at least at the moment, that's what I'm here for most of the time, because gotta get this done. All right, so we will go ahead and get started on our first sprint in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. Beep, 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 beep. All right, that is the end of our first 20-minute sprint. Hold on real quick. All right, that is the end of our first. Got something weird going on. All right, okay, cool. All right, good. All right, I had Facebook open because I'm also streaming to Facebook at the same time, so that I could catch any comments that came in there, since I'm not using OBS to stream tonight. I can't see all my comments coming into one place. And then I forgot I had not taken the sound off of my Facebook on my phone, so it was like coming through loud and clear, so I'm sure you guys heard it. But hey, it happens. Yeah, so how did everybody do on that particular sprint? I didn't do too poorly. I actually did a little better than I thought I was going to do. You can kind of see on my screen here. Everything that I'm doing tonight is in purple, which is kind of hard to read on the screen. But let me see how many words I managed to plug away at. Okay, respectable, 314 words. Not shabby at all. It's all good. Ooh, I didn't even know I could do this. Display word count while typing. Has that always been there and I just never freaking noticed before? I was like crazy. I'm going to do that because that would be nice for me to know. Oh, I can't believe I never, if that's been there for a long time, y'all, I have never noticed. But maybe it's new and I don't know that it's new. Let's see. Yeah, so I had put something up on the screen because sometimes people will jump in and not, like, they'll see what I'm doing on the screen and then, like, they'll have questions. So what I was working on tonight specifically was fleshing out this scene, like I said, to actually introduce this resistance that's in the world slightly better than how it's introduced a little bit later on, with giving it a real context for why one of the they are primary character in the book, but they're not like the main characters. They're not the protagonist, antagonist. They're a supporting character, but still kind of important to the plot of the book and moving it along. Actually, very important. They are honestly a very key character in the story to moving the plot along and getting it going. But we needed a good reason why this particular character was kind of like double agenting and working for both the Mage Council, which is the ruling magical body in this world, and the Resistance, which is not necessarily against the Mage Council, but they work in and around in the gray areas around the Mage Council. So, but I wanted people to know kind of what I was working on a little bit. There are two non-binary individuals in this scene using they, their, theirs pronouns. And when writing a scene like this, it's very hard to kind of find the right balance of using they, their, theirs when you have two non-binary individuals in one scene. And in my case, it was even a little more difficult because they're not just two non-binary characters in one scene. In this particular scene, they are two non-binary clairvoyant. So I couldn't even call them by their jobs per se. I had to differentiate them mostly either using their names, or using kind of what they're wearing, or using their ages, because one is an adult and the other is a teenager. So that's what I had up there with my little comment and everything. Let's see. Okay, so we had a couple people pop in during the sprint. Let me see if I can get back up to the top. I said hey to Debbie when Debbie popped in. Yaza in the house. Hey weirdo, I have missed you. I have missed so many of my writing people. So the main reason I've been gone from Authortube for a while is because, like a lot of you know, I live with chronic depression and anxiety. Anxiety being my foremost thing at this point, which is what's kept me off of Authortube for this long. Because when I am anxious, I cannot write. Like my brain is, my anxiety triggers my ADHD, which then triggers my anxiety, which then triggers all the depression. And it becomes like this huge, a snowball very quickly turns, or not even a snowball, a fucking flake turns into an avalanche. And there's really very little that I can do productively. I can pound out a couple of sentences here and there until my brain flits away, or until I start to shake to death, like rattle to death. And then I just have to get up and move around. So it's not exactly conducive to being on camera, obviously. So that's been kind of my big thing about why I've been gone. And I have missed so many people. I've missed Jenny. I've missed Jasmine. I've missed Yaza. I've missed Debbie. Oh my God, it's been like, I know people don't think this, but I'm actually an introverted person. I am charismatic and I'm outgoing. I'm not awkward in a social situation. I don't dislike people, but if I had my way, I'd just be kind of alone-ish or with one, maybe two people, and spend most of my time at home. But I actually, for once in my life, really, really, really just want people back. And I think some of it is just, the positive input, but also it's been such a long stretch of time for me. So, kind of a thing. Nicole managed to almost finish chapter 8. Cool. That is cool. Debbie ended up changing a scene and it ended up shorter than before. Normally it gets longer. Sometimes that happens. I do that from time to time. I am kind of a chronic overwriter, which is funny because when Sako and I started doing this book together, she is a chronic underwriter, according to her. So we were able to kind of balance each other out. But yeah, for me, scenes usually end up getting a lot shorter because I get off on these tangents of how well can I put that sentence together and how descriptive can I make it, and like most of it's really not needed. Like, yeah, so honestly, most of it doesn't end up being needed, and I cut so much stuff out of my books before they even go to alpha readers, before they go to developmental editing, before they go to line editing, before they hit betas, before anybody sees them. I probably cut a good 25% out of all my writing before it goes out. When I cut writing, I keep everything that I cut, because I never know when that sentence, I can rework it for something else. And I've recycled, I've recycled stuff from my dark fantasy series, which is not on the market anymore, but I have recycled stuff from that. And I actually recycled it into my first 2 paranormal mystery books. It just took a little bit of rewriting and changing from a fantasy scene to a contemporary urban fantasy scene, changing point of view, things like that. So it's my way of cheating, and I guess it's not really cheating because it's still my work, but it's my way of kind of cheating and speeding up the writing process is to kind of recycle old stuff that's been cut and use it in other projects. I do that often. Sometimes I'll use whole characters that get cut and I'll recycle them. I'll upcycle them is what I call, into other projects. Jasmine finally broke through chapter 11 and got 78 words. Nice. I won't have any like breakthroughs into a new chapter or anything like that tonight. I'm basically writing like little slice of life excerpts to flesh out certain things is what I'm working on. Debbie has 500 fewer words. That's a lot to cut, actually, from a scene. Jenny is doing another round of developmental edits. The dialogue in the chapter is very stilted and needs to be fixed. So dialogue is one area where I feel like I excel at. I've never been told otherwise. Like, I've never been told my dialogue is too formal or too stilted. Sometimes my dialogue is out of character, not as in the tone of voice, but maybe like it's too old or too mature for the character's age or things like that. But where I get stilted at are usually writing transitions. So it becomes very stilted and really needs to, I have to work very carefully in those areas to make sure that the transitions come off. And it's transitioning into a close, like transitioning into a close of a scene, transitioning into a new chapter, like transitioning between two scenes. That's where I get really stilted at and have trouble. And then, okay, cool. So Nicole finished chapter 8 and Jasmine's starting chapter 8. Yaza is working on handwriting and outline today. Cool. So yeah, that's a question for everybody out there. How many people handwrite, like their outlines, things like that? Or handwrite their brainstorming, or I admittedly handwrite a lot of my brainstorming, not my outlines so much. I'm a very digital person, very, very digital person, and I do everything basically. If it's not on my phone, my laptop, or my computer, or the tablet, or something like that, all my writing is done that way. The only thing that I really do is I will jot down a couple of notes or things like that by hand in my Bujo, or whatever frickin' scrap of paper I have in front of me. Sometimes it's the margins of a book that I'm reading, which drives a lot of my bibliophiles insane because they like their stuff all pristine. But I told people if they are ever looking really for a journal, I mean, there's my Bujo, and for those who don't know what a Bujo is, it's a bullet journal. But I tell people, honestly, if they want to find my journal or my diary, they should check the margins of the books on my bookshelf, because they will have things underlined and circled and written in the margins, and like things that I love or responded to, or like when I loan out a book, which I don't do often because usually I just give a book as a gift. If somebody is like, oh, I'd like to read that, then I just give the book. But sometimes I'll loan a book to somebody or give a book to somebody, and I've actually had them give it back because I have written in the margins and circled things and underlined things, but they don't like that. Which does not offend me in the least. Everybody has their thing. So I get it. Wait, hold on. We kind of jumped a little. Nicole says, getting through the scene where the couple has to lock themselves in the bedroom bathroom and pretend to be busy, which is a bit tense since she doesn't like him yet. Also, Nicole is a terrible underwriter, so almost always have to add words, not cut them. A lot of people are. Like, some people are just like, get the bare bones down. But I was trying to go, I went through this the other day with my partner a little bit. Because there are a lot of people who are, I think the term is aphasic, and that's a spectrum. And aphasic individuals don't actually have a mental image that they conjure up when they think of something. I did not know. I've been with my partner like almost 11 years now. Had no clue that when they think of something, they don't think of an actual mental image of something. They might, like, yeah, it's such a foreign concept to me. It's hard for me to even like describe it, because for me, I see everything in fucking Technicolor. If I have a thought in my head or a story, or I'm imagining something or whatever, it's like a double exposure of an image of a photograph. It's I can see everything that's in front of me. I can see the world that's going on, but faintly over the top of that, in pretty much in color and surround sound, is whatever it is I'm thinking of, imagining, things like that. And I can see it right down to the last detail. And I get hyper focused, as only ADHD can do. And I hyper focus in on those details. And so I write every last one of them. So I'm not a chronic overwriter, y'all. I just tell people that I'm a novelist and I have trouble introducing myself in less than 50,000 words. So that's how much of an overwriter I am. Jenny says that they are the same way as far as being an underwriter, always need to add more. There are places where I do need to add more, especially if I don't have a real clear image of that scene or if I'm struggling with it. I will put down the bare bones and just go. Most of the time, what I need to add is getting rid of talking head syndrome or white room syndrome. I'll describe everything a person is wearing and everything that's in their 3-foot bubble. Like, you'll get all of that in what I describe in the scene, but I won't describe if they're in a room or if they're outside. I won't describe if they're in a car and moving unless somehow that comes up weirdly, and unless somehow it interacts with my scene. So yeah, I can be a little weird. But I can be a little weird, y'all. Debbie handwrites brainstorming. Everything else is digital. I am as well. I do keep a few things that are analog, for lack of a better term. And yes, I do have a folder that I keep all that in. But I'll keep some images and things, like if I find them in a magazine, like here's a good picture of Demi Moore wearing a dress, and I needed her face and description. I needed it for something, and here's a girl out of a magazine that I liked, and I wanted to be able to describe her. I think I use these particularly these are writing prompt exercises. So describe this woman. Describe the dress she's wearing. Tell me where she's going, where she's coming from, stuff like that. Spence, my lovely writing weirdo. How are you? Jenny's excited to see Spence too. Nicole tends to focus on dialogue and action and is notorious for white room syndrome. Yeah, I was pretty bad at it. So my first book that came out was my dark fantasy book, Sister Light. It was published under my then pen name, B.B. Walter. And it was, when I let my first alphas read it, it was so funny. This was before I'd really developed as a writer and kind of developed my rules that I have for myself. It has to be edited and go through at least 3 drafts before alpha readers see it. And I'm not counting my critique group. They are alpha readers, but no, they're not. So that was, one of the things that I've developed over the years. But my first one, I had a really good friend whose opinion meant so much to me, describe it as a play with no scenery. And I was like, I thought I was so descriptive. And I realized I was, with the action, with the emotion, with the general movements of characters, with what they were wearing. But as far as their actual atmosphere, I gave nothing. They never knew when people were inside or outside unless they were on a horse, kind of a thing. So I thought that was funny. It was definitely something that taught me how to be a better writer in going forward, which is all critique, as long as it's done constructively, is worth having. It's worth garnering, and it's worth trying to think about and really learn from. And if possible, apply a rule for yourself going forward as a writer. Oh yeah, that's where we were at. Hey, Laura, good to see you. And yep, Laura handwrites brainstorming. There's something about it. I don't know too many people who do digital brainstorming. I don't know. I just don't know too many writers. I don't even know general artists, like drawing or sculpting or whatever type of like art. I don't even know too many of them that do digital brainstorming. I mean, I guess maybe musicians would actually like get on the instrument itself, which to me would translate to being digital versus analog. But yeah, like the brainstorming it's just by hand. Laura hand draws family trees and solar systems and stuff. I will do doodles like that. Like a family tree, yeah, I'll do something like that. And I'll doodle small things, but most of the time I may go out to the internet, find some images, grab them real quick, toss them into the digital file. Otherwise, everything I do is just written out on whatever it is I chose to use for my brainstorming for that particular project. Sometimes it's the giant glass mirrored doors that are like closet doors that are in my office in front of me. That's great with a white erase marker, whiteboard marker. Sometimes it's a giant thing of poster boards. Sometimes it's little note cards, like little index cards. So I use a different method just about every time for brainstorming. Nicole says, totally off topic. How do I keep that headband in place? I can't do without 1,000 pins. There are pins in here. I have a tiny head. So it will stay in place if I were to tie it tightly and it came up over my ears. It would pretty much stay in place. I'd have to put like 1 or 2 pins in it to hold it in place, but yeah, to have it actually back a little bit, there are a bunch of pins in it, like a whole bunch. There are a ton of pins in my hair no matter what I do right now because I'm busy growing out a mohawk. Some of you might remember from last September, maybe it was October. No, it was after October because I went as a lion for Halloween. So November, I shaved most of the underside of my hair up to like right here and just had a really long mohawk. And so there are just a ton of pins in my hair in general because I have about this long of undergrowth, regrowth since then. So that all has to be pinned up, and then the bandana goes on, and then that gets pinned in place. So I don't know, there's something like 30 pins in my hair right now. But I also have to pin on hats and things like that, or they come off. I just have a really small head, and it gets smaller as it goes back. Like I guess it comes up to a point. Like most people's heads kind of do come up to a bit of a point, except for my partner whose head, like I don't know. They're the only person I know whose head kind of just like stays its shape and doesn't get smaller. Anyway. Spence says, doing better this week than I have in months. I know that feeling. Tonight, Spence is working on their kitchen grimoire. Nice. I have been busy working on my altar, on like reestablishing an actual altar. A lot of people are aware it was an ordained priestess, Wiccan priestess. For a long time, I was a high priestess of my coven. I kind of fell out of like most of that, like kind of fell away from or pulled away from like my faith and stuff like that. Probably while I was going through my divorce. That was a rough year. 2009, 2010, real freaking rough years for me. And so I thought I had lost like all my faith entirely, like that I just become straight up atheist at that point. And so I got rid of like all my altar and my tarot, gave it away to like friends. I gave away everything basically. But this last year, since about 2019, I've been feeling really more in tune with it and like feeling it more. I guess it's resonating more. So I decided this year I wanted to spend the better part of this year building a new altar, which for me means a lot of thrift store shopping, crazy digging through weird places. It means also creating some art, stuff like that. So it's going to take me the better part of a year. But I do not have a grimoire. I mean, I have a grimoire, but I don't have a grimoire. I don't have a kitchen one specifically. Spence does a lot of digital brainstorming. It's a hodgepodge hybrid. Cool. I don't know if I could do that. Nicole brainstorms in Scrivener. So there are a few writers. I take that back. So I take back my earlier statement. Retract that. There are a few writers I know that brainstorm in Scrivener. So I guess, I mean, that is digital. It's a weird concept to me. I take whatever is my analog brainstorming, and when I used Scrivener, transposed it, transcribed it into Scrivener. Now I use Google Drive for everything, for my Bible, for all the drafts, editing, comments, everything. Debbie says, I have a hard time visualizing things from my imagination. The odd thing is I have a hard time rewatching things as my brain tells me everything right before it happens. So I don't have a hard time visualizing things from my imagination when it comes to writing, or when it comes to reading, or even when it comes to somebody describing something to me, things like that. But if I am going to draw, I do have a very hard time bringing up detailed visualizations from my imagination. And some of that, I think, is because I am limited on my skill level as an artist, as a drawing, sketching, painting artist versus a creative artist writer. So I think that's part of it, is just because my skill level isn't there to know where those details should be and how they should look. So I can't fill in that gaps in my imagination like I can being a writer. Like if there were a gap in a scene in a book that I was reading, my brain would automatically write what needs to be there and then just kind of fill in the gaps visually. I'm a very, very visual person. Very visual person. So, which is good because I can't hear for shit. For those of you that do know me quite well. I did want to say to one of my Facebook watchers, hi, Sam. Good to see you, Sammy. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you get something out of this. One of my favorite people in the world is here. CO Savvy. Hey, how's it doing? How you doing down there? I'm guessing it's just as hot for y'all right now as it is for us. I have no idea, honestly, what the temperature is like. I would assume humidity. I would assume heat. But that's just because you're south. Well, you're not. I don't know if you're south of this. You're kind of actually. Anyway. All right, let's do another sprint. I think that's a good idea because I have now officially talked for a very long time. But, you know, I told y'all, chatty bitch. Okay, bringing up the timer again and my screen. Feel free to write, watch what I'm writing if you want, do some of your writing on your own, do whatever it is you want to do. And we are going to start this in 3, 2, 1. I clicked it real soon. Sprint! Beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep. All right, y'all. That is our 20-minute sprint for this time, which is our second sprint. How did everybody do? I feel like I did pretty well, actually. Wait, I'm supposed to be telling me my word count. Oh, I didn't write that many. I wish I wrote that many. We're going to take that off because it looks like it's showing me word count for this whole section, which, oops, that's too high. I think that's where I left off last time. 352 that time. So I'm still staying in the 300s, but hey, 300 at a time, baby. I will take it. Yeah, so basically, in this scene, I killed a person. And yeah, that's what I did. I killed a person and came damn close to killing a supporting character. But of course, not killing the supporting character because the supporting character has to go on to further in the novel and help out. But this scene is a flashback to why they got involved with the resistance and why they're now playing a double agent kind of a thing. Okay, let's see some people. Let's see what other people did. So Sio was letting me know that it is actually cold in the Caribbean today because it rained all day, but yeah, humidity reigns supreme. Missed you too. Ooh, hey, I'm losing my, there we go. But hi. And of course, Sako Tumi, my wonderful Sako Tumi showed up. I know it's your date night, so I'm just happy that you're in the comments. Just me showing you love. Witch Life came in. Hello, Witch Life. Glad to have you here. I call everybody my writing weirdos. Sometimes we talk about witchy stuff too. So you're very welcome. I'm glad you're here. Sako says I woke up from a nap. It's good. It's good. Waking up from naps are important. They take me fucking forever to do. Like, I'm not a normal napper. I'm not a person that's like, I'm going to lay down for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and be like, power nap it kind of a thing. I'm a person that says, I can't possibly nap because I don't have at least 2 hours. Like, I'm like a severe napper. And then I'm super groggy and an evil bitch for like forever after I wake up. In the mornings, during nap time, doesn't matter. I'm just evil if I have to wake up. C.A. Wilkie got 241 words, which according to them is pretty amazing since they haven't written in the last week and a half. I did a few words this week, but I actually haven't written in like the last, I haven't put in any word count in at least the last 3 weeks on any project. That includes this project tonight with Project Flambeau, but also includes A Sight Unknown, which is the third book in my paranormal mystery series, which is wildly overdue. I'm just like at this point, just let me fucking finish it. I don't care about my production schedule at this point. I'm just gonna take it as it comes because I just need to finish it. Oh, it's too personal of a story. That's the problem. It's dedicated to my cousin Amber, who we lost in 2009 to a rare genetic disorder. And it took me forever just to get around to being able to write it in the first place. I have the idea, get around to writing it, or brainstorming it, outlining it, etc. And then it was just really fucking difficult to write. And so I like put it in a drawer for a while. I was like, no big deal. The second book only just came out in 2012. But yeah, it's 9 years later, and the third book still hasn't come out. I'm real bad. It's been shelved probably 5 or 6 times, and it has been re-brainstormed and re-outlined at least 3 times. I think 4 times, actually. So Qwerty is here. Qwerty is the queerdiest. Oh, that's kind of fun to say. You're queered. I like that. Is one of the weirdest folks that I know and absolutely adore it. Qwerty, good to see you. Nicole ate dinner, did dishes, and mailed their son's kindergarten registration packet. Now back to proofing. Yep, it's important that sometimes we use sprints just to help keep us like productive in general. Like, it's just good. Because like I had to use usually at least 1 sprint per stream, whether it's like my own stream or it's somebody else's stream, to just do life productive stuff. Because otherwise I will get on a roll of watching streams and doing the writing and not eating or running to the restroom or getting dressed or like stuff like that. So Qwerty just got home and need to edit video. I have like 7 videos right now that are recorded that need to be edited. Like, they're not even rough edited at this point. They're just a bunch of clips, and like they're all thrown into Final Cut Pro, like in their individual project folders, and like all the graphics for that individual video, all of those are in there, but I still haven't even rough edited. I haven't rough edited. I haven't gone and gotten any sound effects. I haven't gone and gotten any music. I haven't, if they're not even recorded in order, because I don't do anything in order, I swear. Sia says, oh, if we're going to go there, I've barely written 1K in the last, like, full year or just since the beginning of 2021? Just curious. I'm just not particularly, I haven't been productive hardly at all this year, but last year I was crazy productive. I mean, some of it was that I was streaming and had the channel. Some of it was various projects I was working on. A lot of it was this project with Sako, which, because we're at, I don't know where we're at right now. Word count. That can't be right. That's just in this section. Anyway, yeah. I am queered. New words. We can make up new words. We're writers. We're allowed to. My partner says that to me all the time. My partner's like, that's not a word. I'm like, it can be a word if I get enough other writers using it, because we're writers and we make up words. Like, we evolve language all the time, or evolve the definitions of things all the time. CO is using the sprints to repurpose their old blog content into a reader magnet. Mad respect to folks who still blog. Yep. I don't. I kind of like, I don't think I've posted a blog. Now, I've written a few blog articles. Let me take that back. I've written a few blog articles guest on other people's. I've even ghost written a few blog articles for people. But as far as my own, I haven't written any blog articles for, I want to say it's like 3 years. Yeah, I want to say 3 years. Which is, I don't know that it's bad. I do have a lot to say, and I guess I could repurpose all of my videos into blog articles. I have repurposed some of my old blog articles into videos and elaborated on them. I don't know. That's something that can fall by the wayside for me right now, at least. C.A. Wilkie says, oh, a full year. I feel you. I understand. There have been whole years I've not written 1,000 words before. CO says, queered. Queered. That could be a movement. It could be. It's going to be the BC movement. We're all just going to be queered. No. It's definitely Qwerty. I'm only associating it with Qwerty, but other people can use it all they want. Let's do another sprint, because if we do another 20-minute right now, starting right now, then we'll finish up at about 6 minutes till the end of the 2-hour mark. So that will be good, because that will give me enough time to see other people's comments. We could talk about our word count, and then I can sign off, because I told the partner that I was just going to squeeze in a stream before they got home from work, which they'll actually be getting home from work in like 10 minutes or so. But I just told them to stay the hell out of the office and to be quiet until I finished up at 6. Because I couldn't start any early, or 6 my time, 9 Eastern time. Because I couldn't start any earlier than I did because of work schedules. But Cordy is happy to share the title. She's the Queered Cordy. It'll be hard getting people to pronounce it, because they have a hard enough time pronouncing your name as it is. I love it when people don't even try and they're just like, I'm just calling her Q. Which is cool, because Q is awesome. Q is an awesome character from Star Trek. So an awesome name to have as well. All right, now that my rambling is over, let's go back to doing a sprint in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. Sprint. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, weirdos. That is the end of our final sprint for tonight. That makes 3 20-minute sprints for tonight because I'm a chatty bitch and talked for the other hour. God, I really talked for an hour. Ugh, there wasn't even anyone on here like chatting with me, like making me get off on a tangent. I mean, like live on the screen with me with back and forth. I mean, there were obviously people in the chat and all, but I'm chatty. I'm chatty tonight. It's because I missed everybody. Okay, let's see how many words I managed to get that time. Still stayed in the 300 range, respectable, but went up slightly a little bit more, 362 words that time, which is good. And I am, I don't know, maybe a paragraph, quote unquote paragraph, maybe 200 words before the actual like close out of this scene, which is nice. Which I'm very happy about. So that is good. Yeah, so overall, let's see, it was almost 400 per, it was like a little more than 300, then about 300 and a half, and then a little more, not quite 300 and 3/4. So I'm pretty happy with that because that should equal up to about 1,000 words for today, which is not shabby given the fact that I haven't been writing. So, and also 1,000 words is 1,000 words. So Cordy says, edited a bit. Thanks for the tail end sprint I could catch. So happy. I always try and squeeze in like some type of a sprint right at the end. I try not to make all of the end be conversation. I mean, sometimes it happens, but like if I can squeeze in a 10-minute sprint at the very end of the stream, I will do it rather than talk for the whole remaining like 15 minutes because a lot of people just catch the tail end of things. And also it's 10 more minutes worth of writing than what I had before. And I tend to chat a lot. So Sako is happy with the productivity and the word count. I'm glad. C.A. Wilkie got 443 words. Doing good. See? We're doing good. Doing good. I will probably not get any more writing done tonight because my partner will be home and just like, actually, kind of surprised they're not home yet. Oh, I remember I asked him to stop by the store on his way home to grab some garlic bread for dinner. I know where they're at then. Cool. That's perfect. They should be home like any minute now. So I will get wrapped up for the night. Basically put 1,000 words in on my collaborative book with Sako Tumi /Cass Voit. All of her information is linked down below. I'm sure she probably has more than what I have linked down there, but pertinent stuff is linked down below and you can find her in most places. Her YouTube channel is down there as well. She streams on Mondays at, what the hell time do you stream? I can't even remember anymore. Oh God, I haven't been on there in so long. That's pretty bad. On Mondays, anyway, you can go and look at some of her videos that she's done on Monday nights before and figure out what time that is and wherever you are. I can't remember. I want to say it's 7 p.m. my time or 6 p.m. my time. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, it's bad. I'm glad you could catch the notification for it too. I'm glad that it helped force you into actually focusing on writing. I do plan on doing more streaming. It's going to be really random and chaotic for a little while because my work schedules are strange and fluctuating. So at least until I get out of training with this new place and get like a set schedule. But other than that, I will let you know what that's going to be. I will try to get them posted more than just like, hey, I'm going to do something like in the morning kind of a thing. But hey, that's it. Yay, Sako, thank you. Sako's stream is on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That's right, because it's 5:30 my time. And yeah. My brain hasn't been functioning right since the time change. You are very welcome for the stream. I loved having everyone back. I'm glad that you could join me. It does my little heart fluffy, fuzzy, wonderful, warm fuzzies to know that people missed me. And Zio is here for my random chatty self, which is good. Good. Because, yeah, definitely chatty. Okay, so that is it for the night. Like I said, most of you know me. Enjoy my cats back there real quick. That is Spot, who's the orange cat, and Domino, who is the tortie. And yeah, most of you guys know me. My name is BC. This is, of course, my channel, BC Brown Books, where we like to get weird about words in the ways that only writers can. We write them, and we really get nerdy about talking about them. We talk about other things too, but those are my big things on this channel. If you liked the stream or just like me in general, do me a favor, give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so you know when I'm getting weird about words, since I'm going to be random schmandom for a while. Anyway, thank you all for coming out tonight and writing with me. I really do appreciate it. It got me back on the like track and like going again, and hopefully I can get a whole lot more words in. It's probably not going to be tonight, but it's probably going to be tomorrow and Sunday, and yeah, Monday. My schedule's kind of crazy on Monday and Tuesday, but probably will be like 4 a.m. writing at that point with me. Yes, they got really big. Spot and Domino got very big. They are full-blown adult kitties now, although when they're a year old, I kind of consider them teenagers, not really kitties, so I call them my teenagers. Okay, so have a good night, y'all. And if you're wondering when this shit's gonna end, it's gonna be like right now. Bye.